Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rimworld. This is episode 2, and I'm looking at how my base evolves over a number of hours play, simply by sort of jumping in and at different stages, discussing what there is, and my kind of thoughts, tips, that type of thing, and sort of explain how it's been going. And I would say that this actually has become increasingly difficult because I have it on the hardest setting, with the random events coming in, and it is pretty difficult. So I'm having to defend a lot and just about surviving with this small hit zone here, this small zone where I've got my turrets, and we're going to expand it out, and I'm starting to expand my power base out because I need more power to keep these heat sun lamps going and all the turrets that I want. So one of my focuses will be to expand the power base over that way. I'm thinking about how I manage my items, my objects, and whether this area here is too far away. I haven't decided yet, but I'm just sort of going with it. And generally trying to clean up these rooms, make them look better, get rid of the rock, and make an area that is attractive for them to live in, because that is important for these little buggers. So, the 7th of spring, sometime on, we have had another attack. I've started to clear out some of this area so I can put more turrets in here, make it more effective. You can see, in fact, they're being built down here. We're just about repelling the onslaught, and it's slowing down my construction, unfortunately. But we're also starving, and the slowed production is affecting how much food we gather. Because it's fairly cold out, as you can see, snow everywhere. There are few animals, if any, and so I'm building another farm in here. Again, this is going to be quite energy sapping because these sun lamps take up a lot of wattage. But I haven't really done a lot else. That's kind of where we're at. We're deconstructing blocks, making walls, so we've got materials there, and we generally are struggling against the tide, the onslaught. You can see there's lots of bodies buried over here in this section. So now summer has started, and you can see I have the second farm up and running here with heaters and the sun lamp. We've got 6 banks of solar generators here and some more batteries. The new kill zone is looking better. We've got floor, trying to keep everything looking neat and tidy for them so they are working in a good environment, which will hopefully boost their morale. I am thinking what to do with this stuff up here. I'm going to hopefully tap this thermal vents here, this geyser here. I've already got one, and then there's another one over here as well I'm thinking about to increase the power level so I can supply maybe even more farms. Let's have a quick look at the characters. We've still got Jupiter, who was the colony settler. He was the rich explorer, and you can see his construction is 17 and his mining is 15, so I really use him for that. Clara, construction 19. Kato does a lot of the cooking. He's 12 cooking. Dweeb, she is really good at crafting, and she's been doing a lot of the smelting and making the blocks for the walls. Matthew is our he's the social guy. He's a counselor, so that's particularly handy. We use him to do all the communications because they get better benefits, they get better deals when they're talking to caravans and ships in orbit. And then we have Kaz, who is my main researcher, although he's really good with animals as well. That's a team. And the world itself is, if you don't remember, on the tundra. So it's very near the ice sheet. This is a really harsh environment. It gets down to minus 40, minus 50 at night. So particularly tricky area to live. But I wanted to challenge myself. And as I said before, I really have been fending off lots of attacks, and having to deal with the cold is a constant issue. So we are through winter into spring the following year, and you can see there's been quite a few changes. We actually have a period of toxic fallout. Now, it can be quite bad, but sometimes I view this as a way of keeping everybody inside. If you've got enough food, and they can focus on rejigging the base to how you want it, and it keeps them within a certain zone if you correctly use your zone areas. So for example, inside for these guys is this area here. There's a little bit of area outside where they can walk through, but the amount of time they spend outside in the toxic fallout is not enough for them to actually get too ill. So they spend most of the time inside, but they can still reach these growing areas, these fields here. I may even build like a corridor along there. I don't know, probably will, but we'll see how that goes. So we've got some more power here. We've got some geothermal energy going down to the main base, which is tons of power. We've got that one as well. So we've got 3 geothermal geysers supplying energy to the base, which is really, really useful. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 turrets within this zone with a fire foam popper. If we get some fire in there, that will pop up. And we've started to expand. We have plants growing here in hydroponic basins. Have had to put a sun lamp in there, and we've got a heater in there, so there's some expense, which is fine because I've got all this power coming into the base. Now you also notice that we have another room down here. This is another storage area. It's not heated, it's sectioned off, but as you can see over here, these storage areas I started to expand. It's still quite far for them to walk, and this one happens to be closer to the action. So, but they are still safe from any kind of raids, because raids in these latest updates, pirates will come in and they will take stuff and then go. So you don't want them to do that. And what else have we got in here? We've got extensive mining. You can see into this mountain, because the mountain's pretty huge. So what I'm trying to do is find as many resources within this area as possible, and just make sure it doesn't go out to the edge, because I want it to be safe. And there's tons of mining and tons of resources to be tapped in there, which I will be doing. You probably also noticed that I've expanded out the battery room. There's more batteries, and we've got some more solar power going in there. We had a manhunter pack, and consequently we've got loads of buffalo meat. And there are other areas, like this room here I've expanded this area here as well for blocks to be stored. And just generally, I've had a period where I've been able to get to grips with some of the content, having fended off the constant attacking. So it's starting to come together, and with this toxic fallout, they're focusing on the main base inside. So we're now at the end of summer, the same year, and there are some big changes, which is largely because I've started to get on top of this one now. And it really changed when we had an exotic goods trader come into orbit, and I was able to sell the 3 AIs and the synth blades, which afforded me something like 12,000 silver. I could then invest in some other stuff. We've got some more jewelry. We've got a massive mega screen television there, which they love to sit on the sofas here and watch. I was able to buy some cloth and put down a billiards table there as well. We've got the chairs because of that as well, and we've also made some plasteel dining chairs. They are top of the range. You also see we've got forests springing up out here as well, and the aim is to have a good supply of wood. In fact, I did buy some wood, which is great. So this joy area, this kind of mess hall here, really has come on, and it's just the most amazing place to be. You'll probably spot here as well that the hydroponics bay has also expanded out. This green area here you can't build on or do anything with at the moment. I'm going to have to dredge that so we can use that ground. Now we've got all sorts of crops, other crops going here to add some variety. We've also got some cotton that's growing so we can make some more furniture. I'm getting a good turnaround of potatoes. They love potatoes in this particular colony. Now, we've also got a new addition of Lolly. She was on an escape pod. Her brother is Matthew, who's one of the other guys in the colony, which is great to get a good social bonus for that, which is really handy. So if anybody lands an escape pod or is captured and they're a family member from one of the other guys, I always recommend get them because they get a plus 20 to their social, which is really, really handy. What else have we got here? We've got loads of meals because of all that meat and food we're now able to harvest. And we're looking at a colony here that is becoming self-sufficient. That's what we want. I mean, we're not having to worry about harvesting anything from the environment at the moment. We're producing it all ourselves. The plan is we've got to expand some of these rooms. We're going to put out as many of the items as possible so we can have examples of every type of production, and then we're just going to make sure we're just going to expand. And I'm going to try and get as many people in this base as possible. So we need to do bedrooms, we need to have weapons, we want to try and get the top kit as well, stuff like the power armor and everything that we can really into this base. So guys, I hope you will be back for episode 3. If you enjoyed this, click the thumbs up. If you've got any comments or questions, add them down below. And you'll be able to come back and see how Jupiter is doing with his foundation colony. Guys, thanks for watching.
You may not know that I have a Redbubble shop. There are a range of products I've created based on games including DayZ, The Forest, Subnautica, and Ark Survival Evolved. I don't have Twitch subs or channel sponsorship, and I receive a small token amount from my YouTube broadcaster, despite the excellent hardcore guys and girls who support my videos. Any Redbubble sales not only financially support my time and the hours that go into making my videos, but also you receive a quality product at the end of it. The link to the store is below. Even if you don't fancy buying anything, liking products in the store really helps. Thanks guys.